Be a subcommittee.
I'm going to call this meeting to order, Committee on Committees, October 21st, 2024, at 5 p.m.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Holmes, would you say invitation?
Father God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this beautiful sunshine and the great weather that we've had, Lord. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come here and do the county's business. I pray that we give you glory as we be the voice for the people, Lord. Continue to watch over the people in North Carolina and all that is affected by the latest hurricane, God. And we just thank you and we love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Approval of agenda. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Approval of minutes from September 9th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, recognition of public. Anyone signs up? Anybody want to speak? Announcement, for the chairman, I have no report. For the county mayor. All right, old business. Sumner County Library Board as trustee. I would like to actually go ahead and put forward Eric Stockton. Second.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes, sure.
Have we voted on these before?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we know who else has applied?
They're actually attached to, I don't know if you're in, I have not.
Everybody that has stated an interest.
Yes. Don't know if it's attached in this one, but, they were, I think it was actually 2 months ago, I can't remember, honestly.
Aye.
Last month was so crazy because, of the meetings going so long. But I think it was either last month or the month before they were.
Usually the only two that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And these two are actually
They are
included in
on
the
here.
packet.
Mr. Ray, and then, yeah.
So the names that's moving forward is just one for the
Yeah,
other.
just,
Okay, and how many vacancies are there on the library?
there's 3, including this one.
I would like to make an amendment that we hold up, and I've talked to a couple of commissioners this week that have some concerns about the library board and, the airport authority. I just would like to hear more, get more input. That's my reasoning on that. I don't know anything about either one of these, but I'd just like to hold up on it.
What type of input? What kind of input from the library you're concerned?
I would like to speak to some of the people on the library board. We have a person who is on the library board, and I'd like to see what they think in regard to these people.
I think Mr. Stockton and Mr. Ray have come before, it's been on the agenda for many months.
But that's not gonna make what the opinion of the person from our body that has to work with them has. That's an amendment. It can be voted down, but there's not an amendment that we hold up on that.
The second to the amendment?
I'm confused about, no, I'm not confused. I'll reserve my comment. Never mind. Hold on.
So it fell for a second. So back to the original motion, to support Eric Stockton, have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
So 1 opposed. All right.
Well, I'm sorry, was that a 3-to-1?
Yes.
Okay. And everything we're doing, as long as I just want to make it clear that this will be on November's
Correct.
commission. Okay.
All right, Sumner County Solid Waste Board, we still have not had any county mayor recommendations, so we will move on from that one. Sumner County Airport Authority, 5-year term. I actually got word that Mr. Williams would like to come off of this recommendation, so we'll come off of there, and I'll make a motion to put Samuel Fuller on to forward.
Second. I'm spoken to him, and I think that he is, well,
Okay, I don't want to be the stick in the mud here tonight, but I think I'm quickly becoming that way. But, Steve Shepherd was my assistant principal. I know Mr. Shepherd very, very well. He's a Christian gentleman. He is a very, very dedicated employee, or was with the Sumner County Board of Education. I can't say enough good things about him. And I'm just wondering what he did or said or what occurred that he's not accepting.
I don't think anybody, I'll just say in my opinion, I've never said he was unacceptable. He just never came forward and didn't come and talk. And, I know Matt Harris came and spoke for him, but he hasn't actually come to the committee and spoken about his intent. That's the only thing I know. I mean, I don't know that he's a bad person or anything. I don't know, because I heard from Mr. Harris what kind of things he's done and what he was trying to do with the airport authority. But I've never even seen the guy's face, so I don't know. That's the only thing I have to say about it. I mean,
Well,
we're not going until November, right? So it might be his him to come to the next committee on committee to talk about himself, you know what I mean? Just so we can see him and meet him. You know him, but I don't know him. I don't know if anybody else knows him. I don't know.
I do know Mr. Shepherd, and he was very successful at speech, and I had.
he was on full day, yeah. He started at Gallatin.
I think he retired, but I did not have a good experience as a parent with him, so therefore I would not recommend him personally because of the things that I dealt with when I had to deal with him as an assistant principal. But that's just my personal opinion, so that's why I wouldn't recommend him.
He flies a plane. I just, believe me, having been in education all the years that I was in education, there are people that are probably very, very qualified that I had crossings with along sort of careful, which I know you're trying to be, but you have to sort of be careful about when you have a personal run-in with somebody that's trying to do their job in education and who has a track record and a history of being a pretty fair person. You're not going to make everybody happy. I never made everybody happy. That's for sure. But, you know, at one point, I guess what I'm thinking is that at one point on the commission, we were just like, it was just automatic that a person that was serving, unless they had done a bad job, would just continue serving. That we're turning out a lot of tenure here and a lot of experience, especially with something like the airport authority. And I think in something like that, my goodness, we need all the experience and expertise that we can get. So and I'm not trying to be difficult here, but if he is not accepted, I'll have to make his recommendation from the floor for the next.
So,
Personally.
my question though is everyone else has made an attempt to come and speak in front of the committee or come to the, commission to speak about themselves in that position itself. I would really like them to come to the committee. I mean, we talked about that in commission, that many of the commissioners are like, well, they never even come and show up and tell us who they are, you know, that kind of stuff. So, for me, it would be nice for me to be able to hear her voice and talk to her. I know you know him very well, and I'm not just saying anything bad about it. And I like what I heard about it, and I just would like to know who he is. And if he could maybe come to know, because we have a meeting in November, to talk to her. I mean, it'd be good. You know what I mean?
Has everyone appeared before the committee? We've dealt with everybody.
In my experience with the airport authority, they have come to talk, to say, hey, I'm so-and-so, you know, I'm interested in being on the airport authority.
You mean these two people here?
Yeah, Mr. Williams has come and Mr. Solano has come.
It may be that Mr. Shepherd just assumed that since he was already on the airport authority for years, we knew him and knew what he was capable of doing. I don't know.
I'm sure he's very capable. I just, for the comments that have happened in the past, for people that said they, you know, didn't want to vote for people because they don't know who they are. I'm not, like, here's the issue I have with all of this. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be frank with you, is that we put people, for example, on the library board, we put people through to the library board, and we get so much pushback on the people that have come and spoke about who they are and want to be on the library board, because a few people don't like them. They have some personal vendetta. I get that. But it's the same situation, you know, Mr. Williams, Mr. Solano came. Mr. Shepherd, I've never even talked to him. And, you know, if you want to put him forward, put him forward. But I would really like to know who the guy, I'd like to see the blue or brown eye that he might have. Yeah. Okay.
What was it about Mr. Sorrento?
Well, he was a pilot. He came, he spoke it. He's a pilot. I think he's about.
Mr. Shepherd's a pilot.
I know that, but they're all pilots. They need to be pilots. I'm not disregarding that he's a pilot. I'm not. That's not the point. The point is that he hasn't come. The courtesy to come to the committee and say, hey, I'm Mr. Shepherd. I would like to stay on the airport authority, I think would say a lot. You know, I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything, or he doesn't, you know, he's not worthy, but I don't have a resume.
Someone
Resume, it's been 3 or 4 years of on the airport authority.
Well, then that means everybody else has been on the airport authority, if they come up for renewal, then we should just pass them through that. I mean, I'm just saying, I would really like to know him, to know what he looks like and talk to him, see what they talk to him. But I'm not saying doesn't need to go in Mr. Williams' slot. I'm not saying that at all. I just think that it would be nice if he would show up and talk to you and not have other surrogates do his work.
So we have a motion for Mr. Lorenzo. Do you want to make an amendment to that?
I'd like to make an amendment that we hold up this appointment. After all, we've done it for several months now. I'd just like to hold up and proceed with caution. I don't have to tell you all this. We're coming under a lot of scrutiny. I talked to 2 commissioners this week, and they're not people on one side, representative of both sides. And they think we're operating a pretty closed group with the committee on committee. Whether that's true or not, I'm not saying. But that feeling is out
be placed into Paul Williams' spot as a recommendation from you. And then if you want to bring it forward in November, because we're not going to be able to vote on it tonight, bring it forward, and then maybe Mr. Shepherd will come and talk to us. Because Mr. Williams is not on here. He came on.
Quite honestly, Mary, if I was Mr. Shepherd and I had faithfully served this county for 3 or 4 years, I would not insult myself that comes.
I don't think that's an insult.
Or
That's not an insult. That is coming to this committee and asking.
That's a matter of opinion, but that is definitely an insult. I would take it as an insult.
Okay, so we have an amendment, is there a second to the amendment?
Well, what's the number?
To add
I second it. I'd like to
Mr. Shepherd.
add him.
All in favor?
My motion was to hold up.
We're holding up.
Oh, you want to hold up on all of it?
Holding up on all of it.
So you're in a second holding up on all of it?
Is that the,
That's the amendment. So the original motion is to.
no, I thought it was, no, I'm not that.
So there's not a second. Okay, so that fails due to a second. So back to the original motion of putting Mr. Solar on those three.
Well, I would like to make an amendment
Okay,
to add Steve Shepherd to the box where Mr. Williams was.
okay. Is there a second to that? Okay, well, that also fails for the lack of a second. Go back to the main motion. Putting forward Mr. Soloronzo. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
You can put forward, I might have known.
All opposed?
No.
So 3-1. All right, Tourism Board, 3-year term.
I'd like to nominate,
Well, we need to open for the election. So you need to make a motion?
I'd like to, make a motion to, add Mr. Eric, I can't say his last name, Jamie Keith, to be on the tourism board. He's, very knowledgeable of business and tourism. He's been coming to the tourism board meeting. I think he'd make a great addition to the tourism.
Who did you say, Mary? I couldn't understand.
Eric,
Jamie.
Jamie.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think that would be good.
Is there a second?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So Mr. Fancy will be put forward for tourism. All right, Civil Service Board. I think we were doing some research on that, weren't we?
Yes,
Law Director?
yes, ma'am. Actually, there's 2 openings that need to be filled on this by the commission. And I'm still working with, the sheriff's department, the sheriff specifically, and, the last members of that, board about trying to get together the minutes and meeting dates and just to see how they've been doing it in the past so that I can make sure it's done properly if it has not been in the future. So at this point in time, the only thing I can report is that we need one additional county commission recommendation.
So we'll just defer this to November so that we can put that together. Everybody's favorable to that? Is that okay, Mr. Huff? All right, and also, the Ethics and Conduct Committee, I'd like to defer that to November. Nobody has an exception. Well, as the law director stated, none of this will be heard tonight. So. And then, new business, Board of Construction Appeals, I'd like to make a motion to put forward the 3 members that have served, Barry Brawley, Brian Lynch, and Jim Moynihan, to continue to serve. All in favor say aye. Alright. And then the last one on new business is general operations. I would actually like to, make a motion for Mary Denung to take Commissioner Harrison's spot. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
What have you have to
Abstain. Okay.
abstain?
You don't have to.
You don't have to abstain.
Okay, I'll let you know that.
All right, one more
Believe
motion.
in yourself.
One more motion.
To adjourn.
Right there.
Nice meeting, I like that.
Came off that night as the commissioner. Yeah. This is like the